I thought I had gone around and gathered up all the books for this video before filming, but the truth is I didn't. I'm here to talk about the quarter, what's the tag called? I think it's called the quarter crisis tag. I'm gonna tag myself. Okay, so here's something I don't understand. How do books just mysteriously disappear? Does this happen to anyone else? I was looking for my copy of Hamnet and I can't find it. It's me, Jess, the quarter crisis book tag, because this is a book tag that you can do every year. I did the same one last year, so I'll put a link to the situation I was last year at this time relative to the situation I'm in this year. Okay, I'm gonna have to let him out. So I'll link it here, what happened last year at this time, or where I was last year at this time. And I guess I'll pull up my story graph for my stats and my Goodreads. I use both. Let me know in the comments below if you prefer Storygraph or Goodreads. I'm still getting into the Storygraph. I get that it's better because it's not affiliated with Amazon. Totally got the message. But I'm still trying to get used to it. So how many books have you read so far? 25 books. So I've read 25 books so far. 7 books ahead of schedule. 7 books ahead of schedule. What's going on? I had such a bad start to the year. I think I only read 5 books in the months of January and February. So I've clearly made up for it. I think the reason being is just the enthusiasm of other booktubers about my channel and the subscribers about my channel. I just feel more somehow invested. And it's a great feeling. Sometimes it feels like pressure, but it's a great feeling. So the next question is, have you already found a book that you think might be a 2022 favorite? I have, for sure, maybe even all-time favorite, and I don't have a copy of this book with me, and actually I'm gonna see if I can find my own copy of it. I'm gonna visit some independent used bookstores this week in preparation for Independent Bookstore Day, so I'll be doing a vlog about that, so you can look out for that. It's Giovanni's Room. What an amazing book. I loved it so much, and I really want to read more James Baldwin as a result, and I can't believe it took me so long to get to it, yada, yada, yada. Everybody knows how great it is. If you haven't read Giovanni's Room or anything by James Baldwin yet, hurry up. Get with the program. Hurry up. So next question. Any one-star book's least favorite book of the year? Yes. And this is one that, and we'll get to the whole DNF issue in a minute because it was one of my goals, but this is a book that I did not like. I talked about it in my reading wrap-up part 1 for March. 1 star, 2 stars maybe. Yeah, not even. I'm very sorry. It's a debut novel. I hate to trash a debut novel. It's okay though because she's been sponsored by Reese Witherspoon's book club. So I don't think it really matters that I didn't like it. And I will just say that you can check out the review for that and you can see what I had to say about it. But yeah, it was super disappointing. The only reason that I stuck with it is because it was for my book club. And as I say in my review, my book club probably would have been fine with me DNFing it. So that was a big, huge disappointment, but also wasn't a choice of mine. So all the books that I've chosen to read so far this year have not disappointed. They've been great. I've been having a really good reading year, which leads me to our next question. Oh, I thought the next question was going to be a book that surprised you. I'm going to do them in a little different order because I want to talk about the books that surprised me because I did take a risk, so to speak, and read some books that I wasn't sure were going to work for me. And I was a little hesitant to read these books. It took me longer than it normally would to read these books. And after I read them, I was so happy I did because they were fantastic. So the first one is Ruth Ozeki's Book of Form and Emptiness. I don't know why I thought I wouldn't like this. I think I was too heavily influenced by other booktubers and the negative things that they had to say about this book, and maybe not influenced by the right booktubers. I don't want to get too far into that because everyone has different tastes. And I don't expect everyone to love the same books that I love or enjoy the same books that I enjoy, but this really surprised me and I really, really enjoyed it. It was fantastic. I talked about it quite a lot, doing a study of the symbolism of crows in the book and some of the other themes. Really, really enjoyed this. And I should have known that I would enjoy it because I really loved A Tale for the Time Being So there's no reason why I shouldn't have gone on my own experience and deferred to other people's reviews of it. I kind of learned something through that. Like, I need to go with my own experiences and decide what I want to read from that. But anyway, the other two that I was really surprised by, I'm going to talk about 3 books that surprised me in answering this question. I know it's only supposed to be 1, but 3 books really did surprise me, so I figure it's worth mentioning. The next one that really surprised me was All's Well by Mona Awad. Again, a situation where I should have listened to my own instinct. I loved Bunny. I enjoyed 10 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl, which are her 2 other books, so there's no reason why I wouldn't have enjoyed All's Well. And I know there are some people that are kind of tired of this woman unhinged trope in books, but I just didn't, it was not about that for me. And even though she does go quite far down a spiral in this book, I still think this book has so much to offer. And I'm just really glad I went ahead and bought it and read it. Like, I knew I was going to, but it wasn't high up on my reading list because of what I had been hearing about it. And then, of course, I started to hear lots of positive things about it and went ahead and jumped in. And then the last one that surprised me, which it really wasn't on my radar, I know it probably should have been on my radar because the film has been made about it, was Women Talking. The only reason that I actually decided to do the vlog of Women Talking, I give full credit to Kevi. Kevi, you reviewed this book on your channel and you got me excited about reading it. So, because I really value your opinion. And so I went ahead and decided to do that reading vlog. And then I found out that Nell had done a reading vlog, and then I was like, yeah, I guess this is a book. And it is. It's a fascinating read. It's very difficult though, so please check the trigger warnings on that one. Actually, I should just put that at the start of my video. I think I'm going to start putting a couple of guidelines around my reviews about make sure you check the trigger warnings. The question that I skipped, which I think really does something for promoting Storygraph, is that it asks, the question is, most read genre so far. I don't have a book journal. Tell me in the comments below if you have a book journal and if you keep track of your books. I tried to start a book journal and I just wasn't very successful with it. I like journaling, but I have enough to journal about in my regular routine and regular life that I find Booktube kind of works as my book journal. So the question is, what genre is the most read genre so far? And for me, it is undoubtedly literary fiction. I think 14 of the books that I've read out of the 25 have been literary fiction. Coming up in a close second is contemporary, 7 books, and then classics with 3, magical realism with 3, mystery with 3, historical fiction with 3. Some of those probably are cross-classified, but I'm definitely a literary girl. I had a comment from a friend. We were out for trivia and she said, I don't know, everyone's reading literary fiction now. Literary fiction is so trendy. And I was like, yeah, it's fantastic. Why aren't you? But that's not to say that I don't enjoy a mystery here and there, or a thriller here and there, or a good horror novel here and there. I just haven't been reading as much of those this year. And that probably has to do with the Women's Prize and some other projects. A book that's come out in 2023 already that you want to read but haven't yet. So Birnam Wood is the one that's on my radar that I really want to get to. There's actually a giveaway. It says US only. Dang! I'm looking at the Goodreads page for Birnam Wood. If you see this video and you want to enter the giveaway, apparently there's a giveaway and you can win a free print copy of Birnam Wood. You have to go on to Goodreads. I am not promoting Goodreads. This is not a sponsorship, but some of y'all might want a book. So my book club has decided to read Birnam Wood and I'm kind of excited about it. I was going to say I didn't get through The Luminaries when I tried it a decade ago. I talked about that in my big books video. It's big. I don't know if I like Eleanor Catton or not, and I think there's a lot of people who would tell me, well, don't start with Birnam Wood, but I am gonna read Birnam Wood. I like the topic. The topic is a kind of eco-environmental story about a group of philanthropic activists who gather up land and then make them available as collective plans for gardens and crops. And they've come across a property and they want to use it this way. So enter billionaire Robert Lemoyne, who has decided that he wants to use the property, he's bought the property and he wants to use it to build a bunker for an apocalyptic future. So I don't know, it sounds really good. I've heard it's a slow start, but I'm really looking forward to reading it, and I'm going to be reading it in May, and I'll have to try to figure out how to fit it into one of the many readathons that are happening in May. Very excited to get to that one, and hopefully to get to the Luminaries at some point. Next question, one goal you made that you've succeeded at. Is there any? I would say the goal that I've made that I succeeded at was the number of books, because I'm ahead of schedule. The other ones, maybe just partially. So one of the goals that I had was, actually that's not true. I added a goal later on, which was to read more short story collections. And I think I've read one or maybe two. I read How to Pronounce Knife. Okay, so scratch that. Only one. I didn't give a number to it, but I have read one short story collection, How to Pronounce Knife, and really enjoyed it. So I'm still going to continue to try to make that a priority for this year. I didn't set a measurable goal, so it's a little harder to answer this question, and except for the full total amount of books that I wanted to read. And I set a goal that was lower. You can check out my video. I set a goal that was more achievable than last year, because I'm tired of not seeing like the completed banner across my Goodreads goals at the end of the year. So I've been buddy reading. I'm on my third book buddy reading with one of my subscribers, Lori, and it's just been such a great experience. So I think that's a big reason why I've achieved that goal and surpassed that goal. I had this idea of wrapping up the books. You can check out that video. I had this idea of wrapping up books that I got from Books Like Whoa did it on her channel, and I did the same thing. I kind of copied her. It's the best form of flattery, right? So I was going to try to read one wrapped book every month, but I've definitely gotten distracted by library books coming in, this book vlogging idea of doing the women talking vlog. I've gotten distracted, but I want to get back to the wrapped books. I've read, the first one was Five Little Indians by Michelle Good, and the second one was Memorial by Brian Washington. I also unwrapped The Break by Katharina Vermette, and I didn't get to it, so I'm a little hesitant to unwrap unless I know I'm gonna get to it, because I don't want to have to rewrap. Anyway, unforeseen problems with the wrapped TBR. So that's the situation with the wrapped TBR. I'm going to continue to try to incorporate books from the wrapped TBR, because I do want to read all the books that I wrapped. So another goal that I had was to DNF more books, and that's not really happening. And I don't know if that's because I'm enjoying the books that I've chosen to read, or if at the end of the day, I'm just not a good DNFer. I don't want to say that, because I really feel like, I think Burning Wood is one of those books that a lot of people maybe would DNF, because I've heard the beginning is slow and then it gets really good towards the end. I'm really reluctant to DNF books too early, you know? So I guess Lori said it best. She said it in my comments on my goals video that she's more of an abandoner of books than a DNFer of books, and I'm really vibing with that, Lori. I'm vibing with that. So I think maybe trying to have that as a goal, DNF more books. Maybe I need to just kind of requalify that as don't read books that you're really not enjoying that were picked by your book club. I had a couple of projects that I talked about in my goals video. One of them was to read more book prize books. And what that actually led to was me creating an original book prize book tag, which I'm really proud of. I will leave a link for that in the description box below. If any booktubers are watching and you feel like you want to jump on that, it's out there. Projects were to read more book prize books, women's prize books. That is how I ended up reading The Book of Form and Emptiness, or talking about it on my channel and thinking about reading it this year. And I read Hamnet as well. So I don't know. I can't find my copy of Hamnet. I don't know where it went. It's disappeared. Do other people have books that just mysteriously disappear on them? I must have loaned it to someone, but who would I have loaned it to? I have no idea where it is. I'm kind of freaking out that I can't find this book. I don't know. It's freaking me out. Hi, buddy. So Piranesi would be another one on the list, but I don't have a copy. And now this is another situation. I thought I had a copy of Piranesi. Like, I thought I bought it. And now I don't know where that is either. So I'm like, did I buy it or didn't I buy it? And now I don't want to buy it again, because if I already bought it. Does anybody else have these problems, bookish people? I have a copy of The Promise, which I was going to do for Project and Shuggy Bane. These are two recent 2020, 2021. I don't have a copy of the 2022 prize-winning book, but yeah, I haven't gotten to that yet, so that's going to be coming up, I guess. I could read Shuggy Bang for Misery May, I realize. That's a possibility, but I have some other ideas for my TBR for Misery May. I think I'm going to make separate TBRs, actually, because I'm participating in the Asian Readathon, Misery May, and May the Force Read With You. So I'm going to make separate TBRs for those, otherwise it's going to get very complicated. That's another project that I haven't gotten to yet, but I have read 2 of the Women's Prize books, and I have been following the prize more closely than normal so far. I've read, for the Women's Prize, I've read Trespasses, Demon Copperhead, which I'll talk about in my April wrap-up, and I'm currently reading The Marriage Portrait, and I'm waiting for some other books to arrive. Why do they have to put stickers on books? I mean, especially when it's a price sticker. I don't mind if it's like a prize sticker or a recommended buy sticker, but when it's a big fat discount sticker, I don't know. Tell me your opinions about stickers on books. So many things to comment on in this video in the comments below. I also got Cursed Bread. It finally arrived. No, it didn't even arrive. The books that I ordered from Book Depository didn't arrive, so I had to get refunds. They refunded me right away. I feel bad about that whole situation with Book Depository, but I ended up picking this up in my local bookstore. Was surprised to see it in paperback. So I'm trying 4 out of 16. I'm not doing as well as some other booktubers with that, but at least I'm getting into it. I had a list of 10 classics, so another video to check out is a list of 10 classics that I wanted to read in 2023, and I'm not doing quite as well with that. So I've read Love in a Cold Climate, which was on my 10 classics, and I've started Middlemarch, which is on that list as well, but I'm not as far into that list as I want to be. I'm probably not going to end up reading all 10 of them in the year, but if I get half done, like 50% of my goals or my to-do list, my thing is if I get 50% of my to-do list done, then I'm doing great. So me at 100% is amazeballs, and me at 75% is fantastic, and me and 50% is like what everybody else is doing. That's the way I look at it. Never compare yourself to others. So that's kind of where we are with the goals and how I'm doing. It is a loaded question for me. Follow-up question to that is one goal that you made that you need to focus on. I think it's okay. I think I'm happy with where I am with my goals. I don't think there's anything I need to focus on. If there was one, I would say maybe I need to just try to incorporate more class. But in the end, what's happening, which is what often happens, is that a lot of the classics that I'm going to end up reading this year aren't going to be ones that I foresaw that I would read. So for example, Hardy. For example, yes, come with me when I try to find a selection of short stories by Thomas Hardy in Montreal bookstores, because I'm telling you, it's not an easy feat. I think that's it. Those are the questions. Now, I want to shout out a couple of new to me booktubers. I want to shout out Julia from Welcome to the Museum, who's a new to me booktuber. She talks a lot about translated works, and I've been learning a lot about books that really wouldn't have been on my radar if I wasn't following her. Charlie from Charlie Brick Reads, but I think probably most people who follow me already know about Charlie, but Charlie is new to me, and that's through Gem at Gem of Books, because she and Charlie and Alice from Alice's Giant Bookshelf, who's also new to me, are hosting these reading sprints for the Women's Prize. And since focusing on the Women's Prize was one of my goals, I've been trying to read Women's Prize books and going on and doing their lives. I think they're doing a live tomorrow, which will be Sunday. Hopefully this video goes up before that, and you can go check it out. A new to me viewer and booktuber, Kellyanne Mitchell, who I love. You got to check out her channel. She's completely undersubscribed, which I was for a long time, so I know what that's like. Kelly reads a lot. She's a pro. So, and she reads a wide range of different books. Thanks everyone for watching as usual, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! If he knocks over my setup, I'm gonna lose my mind. And it's a little precarious, my setup, so I really hope he doesn't. Okay, so this is why there's so much editing in my videos, everybody. If you want to know why my videos are so heavily edited, it's because of Nola. No more squeaking! I can't tell him not to use his toy because that's what I want him to do, so I can't do that.